Okie dokie, so it's bronzer time. So I'm just literally, I've just loaded my brush up with a little bit of bronzer, tap off the excess, and literally I'm looking for, I'm not going to do any contouring or anything like that today. I'll be honest, my face is beyond contouring. There's only so much you can look like you've lost weight, and I haven't. Anyway, so literally I'm just going to sweep very carefully back and forth here, just to give myself a little bit of colour. And the idea is that you take it around the outer frame, so you're trying to give the illusion that sun is falling on you, which is what would happen if you were on holiday. You have to be really careful with these, because you see these really thick, you know, brown lines here. In fact, I'm getting a little bit of one there because I've been a bit heavy-handed with the old concealer, I think. So you don't need loads. Because you're not trying to and I would always recommend, you know, try and get the best brush that you can afford. It's like, you know, we're an artist, and you know, our tools are our paintbrushes, and obviously the better quality the brush quite often means the better finish that you get on the painting. So if you are a powder person, which I am, literally take it under the jawline, a little bit here, just to give the illusion that I'm slim here than I actually am. And if you look very closely, I come out quite a bit further than I appear to. I then just sort of take it down the throat, perhaps into the décolletage. It depends what you're wearing. If you're wearing a nice white blouse, the last thing you want is like loads of orange powder or bronzing powder. So just put a nice light zhuzh to give you just enough to make you look like you've got a bit of colour. And then I would move on to my blusher. I think if you've, you know, if you're a good friend of mine, you probably would have seen that on Facebook a little while back. I do feel like I'm turning to Kathy out of Emmerdale, 1990s Emmerdale. So I always go for a big smile, literally to sort of bring out the apples of my cheek. And I love a really lovely pinky peach. So I load it up quite heavily, because I've learned that actually I've moved away from bronzer. I used to be really heavy with my bronzer, and, you know, tried to make it look like I was really brown, when actually realistically I'm not, and everyone knows that. Anyway, so I try and add colour into the apples of my cheeks, and just take that very carefully, you know, sort of almost like a teardrop or a Nike sign, whatever you want to call it. And the beauty of, you know, blusher is that if you do feel that you're a little bit too flushed, you can blend that down. And I quite often use like a Stay Matte pressed powder, like a translucent one that doesn't show off too much colour, and just dust that over to sort of, if I've gone over the top. But the older I'm getting, the more I appreciate blusher. It never was as important to me as perhaps foundation or mascara, but actually now I realise how quickly a bit of colour, but a tiny little bit there and there, just to make it look like I've been sitting in the sun. I love that look. Others don't like it like that. Obviously, you know, the Elizabethan look's not for everybody, and by Elizabethan I mean Elizabeth I, so that was like 1518 or something like that. So I'm not suggesting you put lead paint on your face, but for some that would be too much. But you can tone that down, or you can do your version of it. And I've used a really sort of short, stumpy brush with a nice sort of domed top, which sort of deposits quite a lot of colour quite quickly. Obviously, the longer the brush, the more flick you get on it, and the sort of spread of powder isn't quite as solid as I've got. I like this look. Sorry if you don't, but I ain't got to look at me, you have. But obviously I like a bit of colour there, so that works. Because I've got quite a bit of concealer on, I do feel like that's probably a bit too much of a line there, so I would probably try and tone that down a little bit today. But hey, I'm not going out. Yeah. Blusher, bronzer.